Hi, friends. Welcome to your first day. In lesson today, we'll be going over a little bit of orientation. So for those of you who aren't able to attend live lesson, I want to make sure that I cover everything for you so you know exactly what to expect when you attend lessons or how to use Schoology if you miss a lesson. First, you should have already picked up your supply bags. Your teachers were handing them out with pickup before the winter break. If you did not pick those up yet, your teacher is hanging on to those along with the rest of your materials. So please reach out to make sure that you schedule a time to pick that up. In your art supply bags, I have quite a few things for you. It's really important that with your art supplies that you maintain them and put them in a safe and good spot. I would keep everything in the plastic bag that it came in and pull that out for yourself each day. I will be uploading a schedule on your Schoology page for each week's folder. And that's going to tell you, it's going to break down all of our days together, our Tuesday through Friday days together, and it's going to tell you what to bring each day. Mondays are your day for uploading art to Artsonia, so we won't meet live. I have office hours on Monday from 10:30 to noon. I also have some random times on Monday where I can schedule one-on-one with you if you are struggling or have questions. Otherwise, the office hours from 10:30 to noon are open to the entire school. So your art time will be your normal art time from 9:55 until 10:30. Please make sure that you are prompt. I will usually open the art room just a few minutes before our class starts at 9:55. And since we have a limited amount of time together, it's really important that you show up on time with your art supplies already ready to go. When you come into the room, I'll usually have something shared on my screen for you to get started on a little bit of sketching while everybody joins before we get into lesson. So that means you'll need your sketchbook every day. I created little sketchbooks for you all. It's just a piece of construction paper that's bound around some paper. Inside, the first handful of pages we will use for this week's assignment. And then behind those pages, there's a bunch of other blank copy paper for you to use for your sketches, for all of your assignments. You should have room in there to do front and back, as long as you're only using pencil within your sketchbook, which is what you should be doing. That way it doesn't bleed through to the other pages. And so you can work on your own to do sketches, or you have the room to do your sketches and warm-up activities for our assignments each week. If you run out of paper, any scrap paper will do. If you can't find your sketchbook prior to a class, I mean, really, sketches can be done on regular lined paper. Also in your art supply bag is your welcome letter. This is also a PDF on your Schoology page, and this is all the information I'm going to make sure that I cover with you today, but I would pull this out and read it, and please share it with the adult in your home as it talks about our schedule and uploading artwork. It's just kind of the basic information that you need to know. So please go ahead and share that with the adult in your home. Then we get into your actual art supplies. You have a small pencil sharpener. This is really high quality, heavy duty metal. It's not going to break. It's really good. Every art supply that you're getting, you will need for the next 8 or 9 weeks of school, however long our little art quarter will last. And then afterwards, these supplies I don't need back. So if you maintain your supplies in good standing, then these become your own personal supplies, and something like this would be handy to have. So you have a pencil sharpener and a pencil. I also included a permanent marker, a Sharpie marker. This should be saved for your art projects. There's a limited amount of ink, and we will use it for some tracing and some work. It's also important when you're using your Sharpie marker that you have some scrap paper underneath the paper that you're using so it doesn't bleed through on the surfaces that you're working. Make sure you find a good space within your home to be working where if you accidentally make a little bit of a mess, that's okay. FYI, for permanent markers, rubbing alcohol works well to remove it from surfaces. Please make sure that I don't get phone calls about being irresponsible with your permanent marker. So you have that. You also have scissors and glue. I gave you colored pencils and markers. I've got maybe a few other things that we'll get into later. These are supplies that should last you for the first 4 weeks. So these are the coloring supplies you'll need for those first few assignments. You have 2 pieces of styrofoam. We'll be doing some printmaking in the next few weeks. You have some colored construction paper for some collage type work. And I gave you a nice big stack of project paper. This is more than you will need for your first handful of projects. This should definitely last you for the next 4 to 5 weeks, at which time you will get some additional supplies from me. So I did give you some extra paper in case you make a mistake and you need to start over. However, mistakes in art, one of the lessons we should be learning is how to reapproach our mistakes and, change them and see if we can work within the mistake within our artwork. Also, use an eraser. Don't make a mistake in pencil and then decide that paper is done. It is not. Please erase and start again if you want to, or erase the small area, or flip the paper over and work on the reverse. I will not be able to provide additional paper for you. I really have a limited supplies, and needing to provide individual supplies for everybody this year really took up most of my supplies. So please make sure that you're being careful and you're using this conservatively so that you have enough. So that means you're saving these things for your projects. The only thing that you could, utilize is obviously your coloring things for your other artwork or some space in your sketchbook. So Tuesday and Wednesday are really the most important days for you to try to make sure you're attending my lessons live. Those will be 2-part lessons, which means if you miss Tuesday's lesson, it's really important that you go and revisit the video on Schoology before Wednesday's lesson. Those should be happening consecutively. Tuesday first, then Wednesday, as we'll be building on knowledge and building on our practice. Thursday and Friday are your work days. That's when you'll be completing your project. So we'll meet, we'll learn about our artists or our art movement. We'll do some practicing, some sketching. The next day, you'll hear more about how you're going to apply that into your assignment. And we'll begin our sketching and our final projects potentially together on those Wednesday sessions. Then Thursday and Friday, you are responsible to come to my Google Meet lessons. You will be checking in with me. I'll be giving some reminders about your assignment, reminders about grading criteria, and I'll be available to answer your questions. After our brief little check-in on Thursdays and Fridays, you will have the option to log out of the Google Meet and to sit and use your art time on your own so you're not distracted by the Google Meet, or you can choose to stay within the Google Meet room and work so that I'm right there to assist you or to answer questions. You can also choose to log out and then log back in if a question comes up for you before our class is over at 10:30. I will take attendance for all 4 of those days. Participation is a portion of your grade, and as I'm seeing you work through Google Meets, that will help give you, a number of points towards your final grade. If you are using entirely videos and not coming to live lessons, please make sure you're communicating that to me so that I have an understanding of your attendance and understand that then that will more heavily weight all of the grading criteria for each individual art assignment if you were to miss a class. So you won't be penalized for missing participation points, but you will be more beholden to the grading criteria for your grades. I will issue a point grade for each assignment that we finish, so we'll have one each week. I will try to update our grades every 3 or 4 weeks in PowerSchool so you can see what I've received and what I've not received. And again, communication is going to be key for us to make sure that we're getting your assignment submitted in time. So how do you submit your assignments? Obviously, anytime that you turn in work for Miss Can Answer Miss Best, you can turn in your art in person. Just make sure your name and room number is on the back, and they will make sure that it makes it to me. But you can submit all of your work virtually. Last year, we started using Artsonia, and I was taking pictures of completed artwork and starting to upload it to help you build a portfolio online. You can upload all of your work. I'm going to show you this week in our class how to use Artsonia and how to take a picture with your computer. The basics will be pulling up the camera app on your laptop. If you're not sure where that is, you can use the search bar at the bottom where you have the little magnifying glass and it says type here to search. Click there and type in the word camera, and it'll show you how to access your camera app. Then you can simply hold your picture up, make sure it's nice and still, and then click the camera button to take your picture. Then make sure that you took a good picture, that I can see your details and that the picture is clear and you weren't moving when it snapped the picture. Then you'll be uploading that to Artsonia. I'm going to have a link in each week's folder, and it'll say upload, and you'll have the same code to use each time to access Parker Woods Montessori, TBSR-NZSF. I want you to write that on the outside of your sketchbook, TBSR-NZSF. Every time you upload, you'll use that code. I'll type it in the upload link as well, but it's important to write it down just to remember. When you click on that link, the first thing it'll prompt you to do is to sign in with Google or to type in a code. We do not use Google through our art portfolios. We are using a code because we're going through Schoology for the links. So don't sign in with Google, it's not going to work. Type in TBSR-NZSF. After that, it'll prompt you to select what grade you're in and then to select your teacher. After that, you should see all of the other 4th graders, 5th graders, or 6th graders within your class, and then you'll click on your name. After you click on your name, you'll see the projects that have been assigned to you and a little plus sign next to that project, and you'll click on that, and then you'll attach the picture that you already took. Again, I'm going to cover this in class, but there's also a link. It says watch how to upload work to Artsonia on your landing page for your art course in Schoology. So you can watch that step-by-step tutorial as well. If uploading to Artsonia is giving you problems, first you should send me a message and let me see if I can help. If you still are struggling to do that, you can always use a few other options to submit work. You can turn it in person. While we are remote, the office is open Wednesday and Thursday from 7:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. and you can drop it off in the office and they will put it into my mailbox. You can also message me. I'm usually working from school and we can make arrangements for you to drop off work to me at another time. Or you can use a Google Voice number that I will be sharing with you. This is not a number that I pick up and answer. It's just through my computer, but it'll give you an opportunity to text me a picture of your work. If you text a picture to the Google Voice number, please make sure that you in your text include your name and room number so I make sure that I can keep track of your work. If you do have a smartphone accessible to you, there's also a free Artsonia app that you can download that might make it easier for uploading your work as well, so you don't have to do it through your computer. To join my Google Meets, I'm including links in your Schoology landing page, and I believe your teachers will be sharing a clickable link as well. If you don't have access to the clickable link, you can go to the Google Meet landing page and simply type in PWM 3402 art. PWM, your classroom number, and art. And that will take you to the page. Again, we'll be meeting Tuesday through Friday, Thursday and Friday, you need to come at least to the beginning part of the lesson, and then you'll have optional independent work time or group work time to complete your assignments. So Monday, you won't be meeting with me live. However, you still have work to do. Monday is your day for completing your assignment and uploading it to Artsonia. Any additional other time that you have during your art bell should be utilized in your sketchbook. I'll be sharing some how to draw videos that I think you'll enjoy, as well as some drawing prompts. You can also draw anything that you like. You have a favorite character, you have some other ideas for your art. Please make sure you're taking time to do some weekly sketching. Practicing your drawing skills will continue to make you a stronger artist. Schoology is really important that you're checking at least weekly, if not daily. I will send messages through Schoology as my main way to communicate with your class. So make sure you're checking the little envelope icon on the top navigation bar. You'll receive messages from me, reminders about your art, reminders about assignments and turning things in, as well as if something should come up and I should miss a class, for whatever reason, that is how I'll be communicating with you. So please make sure you're checking your Schoology messages. Schoology Messenger is also the best way for you to communicate with me. If you send me a message during the school day, you should receive a response from me before the end of that school day. I'm usually pretty prompt with my responses, and I try to check it between each one of my classes. I also can be reached via my email, which is warnerT@cps.boe.k12.oh.us. You can find that at the bottom of your welcome letter, which is also included as a PDF on your Schoology. So that's kind of the basics about arts in the art room for third quarter, for our virtual art room. In Schoology, please check to find each week's folder. I will label them week 1 and then the name of the project, or week 2. And then inside each folder will be the pre-recorded videos like this one that will introduce all of your lessons or allow you to go back and revisit them if you go to Google Meets Live, but you want to go back and see the work more closely of the artist. I'll also share references. Reference material is always great to use. We can be much stronger artists when we can look at the things that we want to draw. So sometimes I'll share some great inspiration ideas and references that should help you be more successful in your artwork. And then the last thing in each folder will be your upload link. So pay attention to those folders as they're posted. You'll also in there find the schedule that'll tell you what to bring. For tomorrow's art lesson, you're just going to need a pencil and your sketchbook. We'll be starting with Zentangles, which are a great meditative way of drawing that can be awesome for relaxing, but also really cool to create artwork with. For the rest of your time today, I am including a little sketchbook prompt. We'll do these throughout this quarter, utilizing the space in our sketchbooks just to start thinking more creatively. So check out the prompts I'm including at the end of this video and get busy on a page in your sketchbook or on some scrap paper at home. It's important that you do each week's sketching assignments. I'm not going to require you to turn in each sketch prompt, but you will need to turn in a handful of them by the end of the quarter for credit towards your grade. I cannot wait to see you in class and to make some great artwork with you for third quarter. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out so that you can feel confident and successful in completing art this quarter remotely.